Oso Bears up 9-0.
Really?
Odem was trying to get a little something going here before the end of this half. And a timeout is called.
FYI, Miller and Clinton score 28-27 till the second quarter. Now Allen versus Waco score 14-7 Novega.
Once again, we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to Real Sports Live. We are still experiencing some technical difficulties here, and we are doing our best to work on that. But there's a timeout with about 19 seconds left. West Oso up 9-0. Halftime is just around the corner. So Odem comes out in a trips formation. Dawson steps back. He wants to look for something. Doesn't have anything, so he takes it himself. Runs up the left side of the field and is chased out of bounds. All right, looks like we do have some video feedback. So 12 seconds left. And Odem is forced to punt it away. So West Oso is headed back to receive the punt. And I'm sure they're still going to want to find that end zone here on this punt return.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely, indeed. That's something you just want to continue to build that lead. Considering 9-0, it's not a guarantee at anything, considering. And it will be, I believe, a 5-yard penalty. Seems like a neutral zone infraction.
And both teams are just trying to find something here headed into halftime. It's been kind of back and forth in the last couple of minutes of this half. But it's a beauty of a punt, and it's playable. So he's going to take off and go. Breaks one tackle, finds some room, trying to, and gets out of bounds as the clock winds down. And we reach our halftime with the West Oso Bears up 9-0.
Yeah, absolutely a fantastic start from the West Oso Bears, especially for this game. Odem seemed like they got off to a good one as well. But the biggest thing, once again, we talked about it, and that was penalties. Not to mention, of course, well, that was the main takeaway for them, was penalties really killed their drives.
Definitely. And once again, we want to apologize to our fans for our technical difficulties that we were having with our technology, our computer. The audio, we had to reboot the whole thing to get things going again. But we are here, and we are at halftime with the West Oso Bears up 9-0. Garza has been the big story tonight for West Oso. Whether he was ready or not, they prepared him to play QB tonight, and boy, what a job he's done. He's led this West Oso Bears offense and has their sole touchdown of the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely. It's one of those things where we definitely saw just great play from West Oso, especially on their offense to the defense, and being able to just gain the momentum at the start of the game and really hold their own on defense, too, to stop the Odem Owl offense. And even the Odem Owl defense could not really respond too well. The biggest thing was West Oso found the weak spot of Odem. Odem, I think, still has a little bit of work to do. They'll probably be able to get that done in the second half, too, to try and find the weak spot of the West Oso Bears.
As for Odem, they're still trying to find that offense. They're trying to find a groove. They're trying to get things together on their end. Hunter Dawson has been under pressure all night. So we're going to give some credit to the West Oso Bears defense. Really bringing the pressure, really bringing the rush. So they haven't let Hunter Dawson get too comfortable in that backfield. What do you think about the defense so far for the West Oso Bears?
West Oso Bears defense, yes, it has been absolutely, well, just, it's been very impressive. And why I bring that up is just, you're seeing it. They've been able to stop Odem when necessary. And so that has been the biggest key, and just not allowing anything to go Odem's way. And that is what defenses are meant to do. And defenses win championships and win games too.
Definitely. And before the game started, we had talked about how competitive the Odem Owls have been the last couple of weeks. You know, they put up a great fight against Ingleside in week 1, but came up short 14-18. And then last week faced a tough Orange Grove team, and Orange Grove just keeps getting better and better. And they lost pretty big, but they still put up 21 points on the scoreboard.
Yep.
So they're looking to make some adjustments here at halftime, and I'm sure Coach Huerta is going to do just that to fire up his boys, make the adjustments that they can, and hopefully get on the scoreboard in the second half.
Yep.
What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, I definitely, they do need to find the adjustments any way possible. And so, anything that can go their way in the second half will be perfect for them, either for this game or next week.
So lots of sports going on this weekend. I guess you can say it's a welcome back football in the Coastal Bend area. At least they're in week 3. But college football, a lot of college football going on tomorrow. A couple of Texas teams that are playing. You have UTEP at UT for UT's home opener. And then we have some UTSA at Texas State San Marcos. That should be a good one. Texas State is my alma mater, and they played a great game against SMU last week. So this is going to be a big rivalry. They call it the rivalry of I-35. San Antonio to San Marcos.
Exactly. Yeah, going to be very fun indeed. Yeah, Texas State looked great last week as well. Had some plays to really make something happen. Could have won that game, but considering how good SMU is in their conference, basically, that was impressive. And then, I would expect Texas State to be able to pull that one off, probably by a score of maybe 4. I would say it's going to be high scoring at about 54 to 49.
That would pack a punch of offense in that game. I like that. And then last night, welcome back to the NFL. The Chiefs and the Texans went at it with your champions, the Chiefs, pulling that one out 34-20. Did you catch that game, Jacob?
I was able to catch some of it, yes. It was very impressive indeed from the Chiefs. They just showed that they were ready to play football and got everything going for them the right way.
Well, all right, Jacob, let's go ahead and we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back. This is Real Sports Live. Stay with us. It is halftime in West Oso with the West Oso Bears up 9-0 over Odem Owls right now. We'll be back. This is Real Sports Live.
All right.
TVNS specializes in provider services, respite care, and emergency response services. TVNS are pioneers in the home care industry, in service for over 37 years. 11 locations from Brownsville to Corpus Christi, from Harlingen to Laredo.
Today's game is sponsored by TVNS, the pioneers in serving our community with the highest quality in provider services.
This game is brought to you in part by the Concession Stand in Santa Rosa, a locally owned business providing a terrific atmosphere before or after the games and supporting athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the Concession Stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Rio Sports Live is the Concession Stand.
South Padre Island Golf Club. Come for a visit. Stay for a lifetime.
Fans, if you want to look your best at the next game, then let Chewy's Custom Sports go to work for you. From custom designs and graphics to mass production in-house. If it's hats, shirts, buttons, mugs, cups, banners, and more, then Chewy's is there for every team and every sport. A veteran-owned company in touch with the community. It's Chewy's Custom Sports in San Benito.
Come and enjoy 2 full days of Texas Fest on March 13 and 14 at the San Benito Fairgrounds. Experience the Battle of the Alamo. See the fabulous Grammy winner Eddie the Reina Yavante and legendary Jaime de Anda, plus Los Garcia Brothers, Sereno, H3, Grupo Ácido, huge car show, market days, and join the IBCA State Championship Cook-Off. Take in Native Indian, Folklorico, and Aztec dancers, Reyes dancing horses, and rock climbing wall and games. Don't miss Texas Fest in San Benito.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
At HCISD, we move the needle forward every day.
We'll blaze a trail for future generations.
It's not just about equipping students with skills for the future. We awaken their potential and empower them to make good choices.
No matter where you're from or where you're headed, there's a place for you to flourish at HCISD.
Hi fans, today's game is brought to you by New York Life. Best of luck to your team.
And I'm Danielle Goslin, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For over 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation of developing the most successful professionals in the industry.
We help to manage the process from day one and guide you on your way to success. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business,
then we would like to show you how we can help.
When in Port Mansfield, be sure to stop in Laguna Madre Baits, the home of Laguna Girl 1 and 2. They ensure that you have the best when it comes to your fishing needs. Locally caught bait, including live shrimp and croaker. Frozen baits, caught locally, frozen shrimp, squid, mullet, and more. Dress the part with full outdoor apparel. Drinks, ice, snacks, groceries, and fishing supplies for any need. Access by road or by boat. Look for the blue building and the blue shrimp boats. Laguna Madre Baits, 828 Westport Drive, Port Mansfield, Texas. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage
announcer's booth.
Now, Mr. Rodriguez, let me ask you, this is a totally different team from West Oso than we saw last week over at Taft. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, I'm not trying to drop dimes on anybody, but what I'm seeing is that they changed the quarterback, and that's made one heck of a difference. This quarterback has become so much more mobile, and he's got a pretty good arm on himself. He's got it thrown at the sideways, but at the same time, as long as the ball gets to its receiver, that's all that matters, correct?
You're right, Mr. Rodriguez. Definitely, Eddie Garza has been a big difference here tonight. He's definitely done it on his feet and in the air. I don't know if he was ready or not, but here he came, and he came on fire.
He came up blazing, didn't he? And what I liked about him that he's so much keeping the defense on their heels. By that I mean he's throwing the ball, and if he's not throwing it, and he's running it as a quarterback keeper anywhere that he can get away, and he's got some beautiful speed. So it's going to be fun to watch each play that as it develops, because you don't know what's going to happen. So it's a sight to behold, and it is entirely a different West Oso team that I'm seeing. Also, what I like is the step up in regards to the defense. These guys are like just coming, blitzing, and just throwing all kinds of stuff. And it's not a bad Odem team. Usually they're really, really good every year. But this year they seem to be a little bit on a decline. But it's not a bad thing. But it just goes to show when a defense comes to play, the offense can be caught totally off guard.
Well, you know, speaking of the defense, I think that their thing tonight was respect. They felt like they weren't getting any respect. The last 2 weeks, they've given up some pretty big numbers. And they said, hey, guys, enough's enough. We need to pick up our play. We need to be respected. So let's go get some respect tonight. And they've done a great job. And like you said about Odem, with their athletic quarterback, Hunter Dawson, the West Oso Bears have been giving him fits all night.
Well, just before he gets totally set up, the receivers are going downfield and running their routes, but that line is getting to the quarterback and not giving him enough time to set up and to throw that ball. So it's something to watch. I've seen this defense throughout the last this is my fourth year here, and really playing a good game and a good show tonight. I'm impressed with the defense because they're keeping that pressure on that quarterback. And I'm thinking that he's not able to get anything off, and that's why they have 0 at that time. Because there was a play, the biggest play they had in the first half was the quarterback keeper himself. So then it was taken away because of penalties. So it goes to show that there's some potential there. We're going to find out which way it goes in the second half when these coaches make their changes and adjustments, and we're going to find out who's ready to take the win here.
Now let's talk about each of these teams' district play coming up, and that'll happen in a couple of weeks when they get into their now shortened season for district, which we have zones. With the West Oso Bears, we have Robstown, Sinton, Rockport, Fulton, and Ingleside. What are your thoughts on that district over there on this north zone?
You know, it's quite different from what with seniors, and it's like who comes to show up that night. And it doesn't mean that you have to go undefeated this year as on days gone by. I think it's who's got the majority of the wins, and they're going to end up playing the other zone. So 3 teams playing for one and 4 teams playing for the other. It's wide open this year. I think the preseason games, you know, Taft, not 2 weeks behind because they had to stop play because of the COVID, and a student player brought it to the game. So it's having an impact that's more seen than we could ever realize, but it's going to be wide open. I mean, if you stay at home, or at least you get to watch it here on this website, or if you come and watch the game, it's going to be a sight to behold. It's going to be really fun thanks to COVID in more ways than one.
Definitely. Real Sports Live will definitely be covering, you know, our coastal bend areas now, and when the Rio Grande Valley starts back up, they'll have Rio Grande Valley games too, so there will be plenty of ball to watch on Real Sports Live. Speaking back to that district, you know, this north zone, they're going to land themselves 3 playoff spots. They'll get a 1, a 2, and a 4 seed, with that south zone getting 1 playoff spot, which is going to be automatically the 3 seed. And that could go to Ravenville, PI, or Rio Hondo. So it'll be interesting to see who represents this district in the playoffs. Now, over to the Odem side, you announce Taft games, and we had been covering Taft the last couple of weeks. So over on this side, on the 3A2 District 16, you have Odem, Taft, and Skidmore Tynan. Will this be a competitive district as well?
I think it still will be, because you got to understand that these teams are still developing. Like I said, seeing the difference in the way West Oso has played the last 2 weeks, you were kind of suspect as to what they got to offer, what changes have come around. And it's not to put the blame on the past 2 weeks quarterback, but with 20 at number 80 Garza, that kid it's going to be hard to knock him down, because not only he gets everything going, but then if he hands off, the play could go any kind of way it wants to, you know. And these guys are cutting the corners, and they're running fast. They're speedsters, and it's something to behold. It's an entirely, I see an entirely different West Oso team, and I gotta suspecting that they're going to be contending now.
And I'm sure that's what Coach Smithy wanted to do tonight. And I've said earlier to my colleague Jacob, you see the biggest jumps, and you want to make the biggest gains from week 2 to 3. And that's exactly what the West Oso Bears have done tonight. Now let's see what happens in the second half.
Get back, sit down, go get your popcorn, get your Coke, or whatever cold you're drinking. Sit down, because it's going to be a heck of a show. One thing I want to do is give a shout-out to Real Sports. I happened to go to the internet during the – see, that's the beauty of watching this. You can watch it, I assume, during the week course of the week, right? And what's so good is that what you might have missed, or what you thought you didn't see, you can go back and see it again. But the beauty of the Real Sports, they're bringing it to you live. No matter where you're at, anywhere in the world, you're going to see some high school football at its best. You might be able to see your own grandson, your own son, or your own nephew playing, or somebody performing band-wise, and you're bringing the live action straight to the friendly confines of your home. And I think that is a truly awesome aspect of this whole mission here, that people are able to see these games live and at the same time enjoying it. But we do like to have you guys out at the games too. But, you know, either way, it's a win-win situation for everyone concerned.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez. And that's going to take us into about 7:30 into halftime left. And we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. Once again, Mr. Orlando Rodriguez, the voice announcer for West Oso and Taft. Thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez. Any final words?
God bless and be safe.
Thank you, sir. We'll be back. This is Real Sports Live.
and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
TVNS specializes in provider services, respite care, and emergency response services. TVNS are pioneers in the home care industry, in service for over 37 years. 11 locations from Brownsville to Corpus Christi, from Harlingen to Laredo.
Today's game is sponsored by TVNS, the pioneers in serving our community with the highest quality in provider services.
This game is brought to you in part by the Concession Stand in Santa Rosa, a locally owned business providing a terrific atmosphere before or after the games and supporting athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the Concession Stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Rio Sports Live is the Concession Stand.
South Padre Island Golf Club. Come for a visit. Stay for a lifetime.
Fans, if you want to look your best at the next game, then let Chewy's Custom Sports go to work for you. From custom designs and graphics to mass production in-house. If it's hats, shirts, buttons, mugs, cups, banners, and more, then Chewy's is there for every team and every sport. A veteran-owned company in touch with the community. It's Chewy's Custom Sports in San Benito.
Come and enjoy 2 full days of Texas Fest on March 13 and 14 at the San Benito Fairgrounds. Experience the Battle of the Alamo. See the fabulous Grammy winner Eddie the Reina Yavante and legendary Jaime de Anda, plus Los Garcia Brothers, Sereno, H3, Grupo Ácido, huge car show, market days, and join the IBCA State Championship Cook-Off. Take in native Indian, folklorico, and Aztec dancers, Reyes dancing horses, and rock climbing wall and games. Don't miss Texas Fest in San Benito.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past? First pressings, collectibles. How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you, forever memories. 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
At HCISD, we move the needle forward every day.
We'll blaze a trail for future generations.
It's not just about equipping students with skills for the future. We awaken their potential and empower them to make good choices.
No matter where you're from or where you're headed, there's a place for you to flourish at HCISD.
Hi fans, today's game is brought to you by New York Life. Best of luck to your team.
And I'm Danielle Goslin, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For over 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation of developing the most successful professionals in the industry.
We help to manage the process from day one and guide you on your way to success. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business,
then we would like to show you how we can help.
When in Poor Mansfield, be sure to stop in Laguna.
All right, here we are, Real Sports Live. Welcome back to Bear Stadium at West Oso High School here in Corpus Christi, Texas, as we have the West Oso Bears hosting the Odem Owls. And it's been a Bear kind of night, especially with quarterback Eddie Garza, who's been doing a little bit of everything tonight in his new role as the quarterback for the Bears. Jacob, what are your thoughts on this?
Oh, yeah, he has been spectacular considering, given the circumstances, you have to step in. You've had some roles. You've had, of course, that quarterback competition, if you'd want to say so, and he has performed like a veteran quarterback, basically, for his team. And that's why Coach obviously picked him as quarterback. And so you want that type of leadership where you go right on the field, and you're just as good as, of course, the other starting quarterback that was there before. So, it's like they did not lose a thing.
And it's like they gained a thing, too, because they're playing a whole different type of ball game, and it's just like a whole new swagger as they walked off the field. And I'm going to credit Coach Brad Smithy for really firing up his boys to come out and play. It's really easy to hang your head when you've been losing, but it shows a lot of character when you can come back and play big like they have tonight.
Most definitely, for sure. That shows, it just shows heart. It shows that you're able to learn from your mistakes and actually make it count on the field. Like, you practice the way you play, and they're definitely playing the way that they basically practice too throughout the week. So that is fantastic. That's what you want to see as a head coach, and that's what your fans want to see too. They don't want to see week in and week out. You don't basically improve.
And here we go, the start of the second half of football. Ball is on the Owl side. Number 24 for the Owls with return. That's Connor Ryan for the return.
Nice job by Topper to gain, to get a good return. The Owls know that they need a spark here in this second half. This is a perfect opportunity to do so, and not a bad return. Got them close to about their own 35-yard line, so trying to get into Bear territory is still pretty possible.
So here come the Owls with 6'3", quarterback Hunter Dawson. Ball is handed off, finds some room to run, finds a nice little hole to get through, picks up about 9. That's number 30, Mark Moreno.
Nice job from Moreno to gain about about 5 yards there, and so it'll be a second down and manageable, definitely, or second down and actually closer. Second down and, well, they should be able to pick up the first down, basically, is what I'm trying to say here.
So that was a nice first down play, and I'm sure that's exactly the way they want to start off this second half. Dawson with a snap, but drops the ball, tries to pick it up and gain a little bit. He does get himself the first down and a little more. So a broken play, and he makes the most out of it.
Yeah, indeed. Hunter Dawson, it was crazy. I mean, you fumble a snap just about, but was able to recover, make something out of nothing, and you have to do that throughout the game. Just make sure that, not necessarily that you make mistakes, but finding a way out of them, and that's exactly what he was able to do there. And a nice job to gain that first down and to keep the chains moving.
Owls back for the snap. Dawson hands the ball off, finds himself some room to run, still on his feet, and taken down. That's number 30, Mark Moreno, with about the 5-yard gain. This is Real Sports Live. We want to remember to tell you guys to like, share, and comment Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Real Sports Live. So nice little drive to start this second half as the Owls are looking to put some points on the scoreboard. Once again, handoff to Moreno. Slowly getting some gains. That's number 35. Take that back. Number 35, Drennan with the handoff.
Nice job by Drennan. It will be third down, but once again, you want to gain those positive yards. They'll have about close to 5 yards to get it done. It's going to be about, well, maybe about 4, but either way, it's a manageable third down, and they're in a territory where technically, if they wanted to, they could try and go for it if they were to miss this one.
And it looks like they have a big package up here to trying to get some blockers to pick up that first down, but let's see where they mark it.
It will be a moving of the chains. A nice first down. Third down conversions going to play big here in the second half. And just like that, the Owls are able to move the chains, get deeper basically into Bear territory, and maybe draw something up here, maybe a little bit of a slant route pass.
And they are packing that inside, and it looks like they have a big blocker in there, which I'm sure Dawson is going to try to follow. That's number 0, Michael Berneman. And sure enough, Moreno finds Berneman's lead, finds his lead block, and picks himself up a first down for the Owls.
Yeah, and did you see how fast the Bears were able to break basically the barrier that the Owls were able to create there? And what I mean by that, yes, the running back was able to go off and gain solid yards for the first down and almost a little bit more, almost was able to go away for the touchdown, but that was an instant where if he had kept it and dropped back, that would have been a sack and it would have been a positive yard for the Bears.
Handoff once again to Mark Moreno, who doesn't pick up much. As I look at the formation and the way they picked up that first down when Dawson carried it, and then that second first down with Moreno, I see big number 0, Michael Berneman, who's doing a great job as a lead blocker and trying to create holes for his specialty players. Dawson chunks it up, and it's intercepted. Oh, it's caught! It's caught by the Odem Owls. What looked like an interception, and the Odem Owl receiver pulls it out for the touchdown.
How about that right there? I believe that was scored by Kyle Castaneda. It looked like number 4, so a nice reception by Castaneda.
Castaneda has been Dawson's favorite receiver tonight, and he makes a tremendous play, something that looks like it was thrown directly into the West Oso hands, and somehow, some way, Castaneda pulls that ball out.
Mm-hmm.
Extra point is up, and it's good. For a minute there, I wanted to give the sound effect of ta-na-na, Dun-dun-dun, because that could easily be a Sports Center top 10 play right there. We'll call that a Real Sports Live top 10 play right there by Kyle Castañeda.
Most definitely indeed. Castañeda able to, it almost seemed like it was kind of a fight for the ball, almost like a loose ball in basketball is kind of what it reminded me of, because all of a sudden you turn, even of course our camera operator kind of got confused, and it was grabbed. That is just fantastic awareness by the wide receiver there.
So the Odem Owls get on the board with 7:49 in the third. West Oso Bears still up 9-7, but the Odem Owls, I am sure, are more than happy that they got on that scoreboard with that amazing play by Kyle Castañeda. Now the kickoff return, which hits the floor. There's a little bumble down there, but he picks it up. Hand it off. Finds some room to run over on the left side of the field. Trying to get up. Finally taken down at the 35. So Jalen James with the return. Looks like we're going to have an official timeout. This is Real Sports Live. We'll be back.
Laguna Girl 1 and 2. They ensure that you have the best when it comes to your fishing needs. Locally caught bait, including live shrimp and croaker. Frozen baits caught locally, frozen shrimp, squid, mullet, and more. Dress the part with full outdoor apparel. Drinks, ice, snacks, groceries, and fishing supplies for any need. Access by road or by boat. Look for the blue building and the blue shrimp boats, Laguna Madre Baits. 828 Westport Drive, Fort Mansfield, Texas. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item.
Back from the official timeout, 7:41 in the third. West Oso up 9-7. West Oso comes out in a trips right formation. Ball handed off, but quickly met in the middle by a slew of Odem Owls.
It is 9-7. Technical difficulties once again, this time with the scoreboard. So as soon as it responds, we will get that score updated for you as soon as possible.
Looks like we're going to take another official timeout, and we'll be back after this.
Record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
Back from the official timeout. Looks everything's okay on that side. West Oso Bears with the ball. Eddie Garza in the shotgun. Snap. Garza calls his own number, looking for his lead block, trying to get around that corner. Doesn't get much. Scores around the Coastal Bend. Three Rivers 7, Fremont 0 in the fourth. The Kennedy Lions have opened it up on Woodsboro 45-0. Waco La Vega right now on top of Cal Allen 14-13 in a tight affair. Robstown 14, Skidmore Tynan 13, another tight game. Lots of football. Refugio 21. Edna, 14 in the third. Taft up big on Freer, 41-8. And here we are in West Oso. West Oso up 9-7. Ball is up. Incomplete. Intended receiver, Rashawn Nichols. Nichols was looking for a flag, but didn't get a ball. So that'll bring up fourth down for the Bears.
.6:21 to go here in the third quarter, but yeah, was a great drive from Odem here in a second, and a nice stop there.
6-17, 9-7 game. Right now, it's still anybody's game. Let's see whose offense continues to gain momentum. I'm sure the Odem Owls would love to get another one here, see if they can get something going.
Well, most definitely. I mean, you're talking about only being up 2 points because you luckily got a safety. Right now, this game could be tied. And you go back to that was on Odem having that penalty. But right now, Odem being able to get the ball back here with the stop that they were able to produce against the Bears of West Oso. Now, West Oso, we all know that they will attack that line of scrimmage as fast as possible.
Dawson drops back, looking to pass, scrambles to the outside, throws the ball up, and throws it out of bounds. Lots of pressure coming from that Bears defense.
And just like that, fantastic by the West Oso defense, forcing a throwaway, basically, an incomplete pass by Odem. So that's a wasted down in West Oso's perspective, or check that in Odem's perspective, but at the same time, that's what West Oso wanted. And those Bears, that defense continues to press time and time again tonight.
Odem now looking at a 2nd and 10. Dawson hands the ball off, and the Bears are all over that. Ball was handed off to Drennan, but every Bear was back before Drennan can do anything.
Just like that, a third down. And look at that, Patrick Garcia, I believe.
Patrick Garcia leads the West Oso Bears in tackle and yards and tackles for loss, and he just keeps adding to his stats tonight.
Now, this is the play that you want to stop. Those 2 downs were crucial, but at the same time, if you can't get them on 3rd down, then it's almost like a little bit of a wasted 2 plays.
So here's a big play. Dawson finds his receiver, tries to get something, but only gains about 6. Not enough for a first down. We called his name once again, Patrick Garcia, all over the field defensively for the Bears.
Yeah, Garcia definitely putting in the work. He definitely put in the work in practice, and sure enough, has been showing it tonight how great he can perform time and time again here. And sure enough, making that stop on 3rd down, the crucial 3rd down. And now, West Oso will most likely get the ball back here.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in to Real Sports Live. We are at West Oso High School with West Oso up 9-7. The safety from the defense earlier on an intentional grounding call is the difference in tonight's game right now. So West Oso is going to try to find their groove back, which they had going coming out of the beginning of this game. It's kind of gotten stagnant over the last part of the second quarter and the start of this third. I'm sure more than anything, Coach Smithy would like to get a groove going again.
And most definitely indeed. Now, yeah, the Bears offense will really have to go in sync and just basically kind of change things up. They don't need to change it up too much, but at the same time, just fake Odem, the Odem defense a little bit more and try to burn them as much as they can downfield.
4:27, Garcia with the ball. Looks like he was going to hand off, but keeps it himself. He's coming up the right side of the field. Finally goes out of bounds.
Out of bounds for indeed a short gain. That's enough to, well, just evade the pressure. And evading the pressure, that's the name of the game right now. Of course, West Oso wanting bigger plays, most likely to try and just get first downs and to try and get this lead back to where it was before.
So it looks like a 2nd and 8. Ball at about the 19-yard line. Garcia in the backfield talking to his back. Garza with the snap. Pulls it himself. Looking for a block. He does find one. Tries to get there. Might be a bit short of the first. Let's see where they mark it. They give him the first down.
How about that right there? Gets enough on the carry for the first down. It looked a little similar, if I may say so myself. I remember a couple of those plays for sure. Just trying to run the ball with the quarterback, getting the quarterback keeper as much as possible. Just trying not to give anything to the defense. And as long as they keep this tempo up, I think it's really going to hurt Odem on the defensive side.
You know, credit the receivers for blocking on that play, giving Garza some room to run. Once again, ball kept by Garza. Picks up about 4 on that play. Garza does a good job with his vision. He's keeping his eye on his blockers, and then he's trying to find that inside shoulder of the blockers to get up. Garza snap once again, keeps himself on his lead block, finds him where it is outside, gets himself the first down before going out of bounds.
A huge first down once again. Keeping it on the ground seems to really be working a lot for the West Oso Bears at the time, for the time being. And it is big, of course, just the defense out. And I've talked about it before, but it's so true. Time and time again, that defense basically, they get weak, they get tired. They normally don't necessarily stay out there too long, and so this is going to be a big factor if the endurance of that Odem defense will be enough to continue the fight on this drive.
With a fresh set of down, Garza keeps it once again, tries to get to the outside. And we're back. I know once again we were having some audio problems, but here we are. West Oso ball. Coming in a spread set. Pass intended for number 44, but incomplete. Looking for Patrick Garcia. They're tied in. And Garcia has been all over the field on both sides of the ball, defensively, and now a pass intended for him offensively.
And most definitely, it's something where, yes, tight ends can really make a difference there. And we'll see what happens here.
Garza pulls his own number, tries to find some room, gets up a burst of speed, and picks up about 7.
And that's what we've been seeing, especially from this team, liking to use the running game. I know both sides, really, it's been both of them using that running game a lot. But just like that last set that we saw where, well, to be fair, West Oso almost scored on that drive. It was all about the run, especially with the quarterback.
So big third down. Garza in the shotgun in a spread set. Let's see if they open it up and him try to pull that ball and find himself something. But there's a flag on the field. And it looks like it's going to go against the Bears.
So false start, I believe, was the call. And yeah, about 5-yard penalty, and that's going to make it even worse because it was already going to be third down. So now they're looking at about a third down, 3rd and 7.
So they go from a 3rd and short to a 3rd and 7. And they're going to try to pick up this big play. Garza falls back. It is incomplete. Had his receiver. They just couldn't hook up. That was Rashawn Nichols, the intended receiver.
Nice job by the Odem defense to make that stop. Now, since there's still plenty of time on the clock. 9 minutes, 19 seconds to go here in West Oso. And so, yeah, it's plenty of time for West Oso to decide to punt it away. So that's exactly what the Bears are going to decide to do here.
So Bears down 1, 9-10, close ball game. Punt is up. And it's a good punt, a high punt, and then downed at about the 45.
Bears, first and 10 for Odem. Ball will be spot on the 46-yard line. First and 10.
So back come the Owls, who have about half a field to go. Did a pretty good job marching the ball down to about the 5-yard line after that big gain by Moreno to set up the field goal, giving them their lead 10-9. Dawson hands the ball off, trying to pick up some tough yards, maybe a gain of 1.
Yeah, nice job by the Bears. They were ready for it that time, and you kind of expected it, especially that since Odem didn't necessarily get the stops last drive, they were going to use the same play calling kind of. And, well, it showed that West Oso were ready for it that time. So now, talk about it maybe going for another pass, but at that same time, we all know West Oso really being able to try and get the quarterback.
Dawson with a handoff. Good quick pickup of about 4. That was Chaz Green with a 4-yard gain. 3rd and 6 for the Owls. And let's see if they can keep this drive going.
It's exactly what the Owls would want to do, most definitely. The only difference is they really have a good punter, so just in case, they would be able to reverse the field, but most definitely wanting to continue this momentum that they have. And look at that!
Dawson under a lot of pressure and a big-time sack for number 2, Rashad Carrington. Came off the right side like a bullet.
What a sack by Rashad Carrington. I mean, absolutely was at the right place at the right time and just Yeah, a fantastic job there to get it, well, to get not the turnover, but basically make that stop, and now the Owls will punt it away. And just like that, look, the Bears have most likely another opportunity for at least 4 downs.
Once again, big-time play for the West Oso Bear defense. Punt is up, and it takes a nice roll in the Owls' favor, bringing it all the way back to the 25. .6:57 left in the game. Odem Owls up 10-9. Both of these teams looking for a win tonight. They both came into tonight 0-2. And as close of a game as it is, you can see that both teams want that victory. They both want to walk off this field with a win in their column tonight. Score 9-10, Odem. Garza pulls it, calls it, and is taken down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
Met in the backfield, right, did not fake the Odem Owls one bit, being able to make that stop happen just like that. So a nice job by the Owls to figure it out. And of course now West Oso talking it over. We might see them go deep, but at that same time, they've just been trying that running game as much as possible.
Garza back, looking for his receiver, finds one over the middle, but it's incomplete. Just a bit overthrown. 6:20 left in our game. Had himself an open receiver, just couldn't connect there. So a 3rd and long for the Bears, who are trying to find something. And all it takes is one play to really get everybody fired up on both sides. Maybe a big stop or maybe a big offensive play. Let's see what happens here. Garza rolls out, has a lot of pressure, gets the ball off, it's incomplete. Pressure was coming in hot by the Owls.
So 4th down indeed. Just like that, the punting team will be right back out with just over 6 minutes to go here in the game. And just, well, we'll give it up to Odem there.
Yeah, number 11, Sully Vasquez, brought the pressure and didn't give Garza much of a chance to hit a ball. Oso punts the ball away. Takes a high bounce and out of bounds. Ball will be marked at about the 48-yard line. As the Owls now will get their shot of extending their lead. It's about 6:08 left in the game with the Owls up 10-9.
And this is where the Owls really need to start to focus up even more on offense. Yes, they got that score, but it seems like those, at least the last drive that they had, they weren't necessarily able to go anywhere. And give credit, of course, to West Oso, give credit where it's due. But at that same time, to keep that momentum, to get that flow, you really want to at least have about an 8-point lead.
Handoff to Moreno, who was taken down in the backfield by the Bears defense. And that's what I was thinking we were going to see. We're going to get a heavy dose of Moreno and Drennan and maybe some QB keepers by Dawson to keep running the clock. But they need to pick up some positive yardages here. And the West Oso Bears defense trying to do everything they can to get the offense the ball back. Dawson in the shotgun. Keeps it himself. Rolling out to the right. Has a little bit of room to run. Taken down. Might have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. 5:15 left in the game. As they keep the ball on the ground, which continues to run the clock.
Yeah, exactly. That's a key thing, but they don't want to be stopped 3 and out basically on a consistent basis. They want to continue this clock to run. Guess what? The West Oso defense, most likely, if nothing happens this play, will get off and be able to rest and be ready for that next drive just in case they have to defend once again.
So big play here. Dawson falls back, finds his receiver, and it's complete. He has a first down and more. Still on his feet. He's at the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Odem! Once again, Kyle Castaneda.
Late flag.
Second touchdown.
A late penalty marker after the play, though. So it might have been a little bit of unsportsmanlike. We'll wait and see what the official call is, but this touchdown might not stand.
So let's see what the official call is here. If the play stands. Waiting on official call. It looks like the touchdown stands as the extra point.
Touchdown is good.
Touchdown is good. Touchdown, Kyle Castaneda, his second of the night. And it'll bring back the extra point, 15 yards.
So timeout, I believe, called by the Odem Owls.
This is Real Sports Live. We'll be back after this break.
TVNS specializes in provider services, respite care, and emergency response services. TVNS are pioneers in the home care industry, in service for over 37 years. 11 locations from Brownsville to Corpus Christi, from Harlingen to Laredo.
Today's game is sponsored by TVNS, the pioneers in serving our community with the highest quality in provider services.
The Odem Owls get the 2-point conversion on a beautiful pass by Hunter Dawson. That gives us, with 4:36 left in the game, Odem 18, West Oso 9. Still plenty of time in this ball game for West Oso to make something happen. And like we said, it took Odem about 3 quarters, about 2.5 at least, to get things going offensively. But it seems like they have settled and found themselves a little something going. Definitely a playmaker in Kyle Castaneda, who has 2 receiving touchdowns tonight. We want to thank everybody for joining us. This is Real Sports Live, and we once again apologize for some of the technical difficulties we have tonight. Wi-Fi in and out, audio in and out, but we are still here, and we appreciate every one of you guys for staying with us. This is Real Sports Live. We appreciate you fans watching from home. So here come the Bears. Short return, gets up to about the 36-yard line.
Yeah, we'll see what West Oso are able to do here.
We talked about halftime adjustments. And Coach Weta over at Odem definitely did what he needed to do to get his team riled up and back in this game and take the lead. Now we're going to see where the West Oso Bears are going to show some character and see if they can make themselves a comeback. There's a pass. It's long. It's deep. And it's caught. It's complete. Oh, dropped as he falls back.
Could not survive the ground, as they say. Incomplete pass, and moments away from being a huge turn of events for this team. I mean, scoring quickly, you think about that, even if that were to happen as in the catch, I would have said, you know, if I was the Odem coach, basically, I would have said after that, let them score quickly. But now, of course, it's back to you can get a 3 and out and basically close the game out here.
Garza, you know, he's shown us on the ground with his feet, and now right there with a pass like that, showing us his arm. Garza trying to make something happen, has a lot of pressure. Taken down, tries to get it off, and it's incomplete. Lots of owl pressure in the back, led by number 44, Elijah Pizana.
Yeah, gets it off to a 3rd down now. And this is a huge play indeed. Something that the Bears definitely want to get the chains moving once again. So, yeah, very crazy. Just a crazy drive indeed.
So 3rd and 10, probably the biggest 3rd down of the game for the Bears. Garza drops back looking for a receiver. He thinks he found one, but it's incomplete. 4:15 left in this game with the Odem Owls up 18-9.
I think right here the Odem, or check that the West Oso offense will have to stay. So same thing with the Odem defense, will have to stay out on the field here. So it's something where this is definitely a make or break play for the West Oso Bears.
So 4th and 10, big time play coming out on that trips left. Garza going one-on-one, looking for a receiver. Receiver falls, looking for a flag. But no call. Ball goes over on downs. So they had the matchup that they wanted. They had a one-on-one to the right side with their big-time playmaker, Jalen James, trying to get him the ball, but just couldn't make it happen.
Exactly. Great job by the Odem Owl defense to make it a 4 and out and a turnover. Now, of course, just to run down the clock, you'll see the Odem Owls try to probably run at least twice and then take victory formation, maybe even do it right here.
Ball handed off, up the middle, still on his feet. That's number 35. Found a little bit of running room and got more than he probably thought he was going to. Number 35, Xavier Drennan, which keeps that clock going. We're about the 4-minute mark left in this game.
Yeah, a little less than 4 minutes for sure, and nice job by 35, by Drennan. I mean, it's something that we had seen throughout the game. That's why he really, was just really impressive, in my opinion, throughout this time. Was able to fight for extra yards like that, find something out of nothing, basically. And what I mean by it is, it looked like he was down.
Odem in control of the ball. Ball once again handed off to Drennan. Drennan chopping those feet. Picks up about 5. Clock keeps a-ticking. Right now the clock is against the Bears. They need to make a stop here. About 3:10 left in this game.
3 minutes to go And you can tell the Odem Owls are in no rush to hike the ball off. Fire them, though, exactly getting to the line right now. And so just perfect management of the play clock and game clock.
2nd and 6. Ball is kept by Dawson. Dawson finds a little bit of room to run. Gets up the middle. Grinds all the way down to about the 10-yard line. The Owls offense definitely found what they needed when they came back out after the halftime. They've just been in total control of the ball game in the second half. Has really been a tale of 2 halves of football. First half was all Oso. Second half, all Odem.
And that's what halftime can do to one team or even both teams. Basically, you make those adjustments at halftime, and then you show everybody, look, we are not done yet. We are here to fight till the end, and that is exactly what Odem was able to do.
We are now at about the 2-minute mark, 2 minutes left in our game, with Odem up 18-9.
Yeah, 2:02 remain here in the game. Timeout called, I believe, taken by West Oso maybe. But, of course, now both teams are going to be able to talk it over and just get them a little bit of a water break too. So, yeah, it was really interesting to see how those 2 halves really played, especially West Oso. It seemed like they were really going to take off with this game and hold that momentum. But then you saw Odem come back in the second half and really just, well, utilize their offense, utilize the running game, whether it was by the quarterback or by the running back. And then all forces kind of just, they aligned perfectly for the team.
So we still got about 2 minutes of play here tonight, but let's talk about both of these teams going into next week. Next week, the Odem Owls will be at home versus Karnes City, and the West Oso Bears will be here once again against London.
Yeah, that will be an interesting game. Both games, really, for sure. I mean, West Oso still will maybe be trying to find that first one. Now, it's not over till it is over here tonight, so don't count them out. But if West Oso Odem keeps the ball and keeps the clock moving, then it's just going to be very difficult for something to happen here.
And Dawson does keep it, calls his own number, and gains about 4 or 5. And a timeout's called to stop the clock at 1:56 left in the game. Let's look at some scores from around the area. Sidmore Tynan up 25-14 on Robstown. A close one with George West and Goliad, 21-20, George West up. Orange Grove 26, the London Pirates 20. Still in the fourth. Corpus Christi Miller pulls away from Sinton 56-27. Refugio pulls away as well, 42-21 right now over Edna Cowboys. Taft, big in Taft, 49-16 over Freer. Canyon Lake 43, Beeville 28. Ingleside in Aransas Pass, the last score we have over there was 14-7. Cal Allen Wildcats fall tonight to Waco La Vega 21-13. Three Rivers takes the win over Fremont 7-0. Kennedy wins big over Woodsboro 52-0. And here we are at Bears Stadium at West Oso High School with the Odem Owls up 18-9 with 1:56 left in the game. Odem with the ball. Tries to look for another TD. He gets that touchdown. Odem, number 35, Xavier Drennan on the ground.
(23-9), just like that. And, well, yeah, on the ground. That's been the name of the game still. And just running out the clock as much as possible and keeping it on the ground and really just running their offense. So pulling that momentum even into next week is what I expect to see out of that Odem team as well.
So now we've seen a little bit of both. Dawson has thrown for 2 touchdowns. His receiver, Kyle Castaneda, has caught both of those touchdowns. And then Xavier Drennan does it on the ground as they're just trying to wind the clock down in the last couple minutes of this game, and they pick up a touchdown. So Coach Smithy right now is probably saying to ourselves, you know, we have to play 4 quarters of football, not a half. And, you know, to tell you, like we were talking about earlier about 2 teams, they did play a great first half of football. But it takes 4 quarters. And you can say it doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. And tonight, the Odem Owls have finished strong.
Most definitely, for sure, you got to be there in the end to be able to pick up that victory or just be able to take it just in case. And sure enough, it's been all Odem, especially in that 4th quarter. Kind of halfway through that 3rd quarter, Odem really started to step up their game too, is when I really started to see it. And that's kind of when the tide turned.
So 1:52 left in the game. As Oso picks up the ball to try to get a return. Finds a little bit of room to run. Makes something happen, and he's got himself some room. Gets up that right side and gets it up to about the 39-yard line.
A solid gain for sure. I mean, you talk about it. Could have been downed anywhere inside that 20-yard line for a second, and sure enough picks up about 10 or so more yards. So good job by West Oso trying to get as much field position as possible.
You know, one thing West Oso does have, they have speed. They have speed. They have athletes. You know, all it takes is a little bit of gelling, and they're going to make some things happen in their district.
Yeah, most definitely. Indeed. We talk about it. A lot of these players, guess what? They're still coming back. So, yes, we did see some improvement from week 2, especially in that first half. Still seeing some improvement throughout this 3rd and 4th quarter. It might be very minor, but at that same time, we're still seeing it.
1:42 left in the game. Ball is caught by number 2. That's Carrington, who finds himself some room to run. Might have picked up the first down.
So remember this, the game clock will stop momentarily for everybody to, well, for the refs basically to move the chains. And so now, of course, West Oso will be able to get set up as the game clock should start now.
1:35 left in our game. And I'm sure more than anything, Coach Smithy would like for his Bears to finish on a strong positive note. And that catch and run by Carrington was definitely something positive there.
Yeah, most definitely, for sure. Good positive play there. And now just to try and claw their way back.
Trips left. Garza in the shotgun. Looking back to Carrington. Carrington looking for some blocks. It is caught. Picks up about 5.
Picks up 5, but stayed in bounds. So the game clock will continue to move down to 1:10 now.
Clock is getting to about the 1 minute mark. 1 minute left in this game with Odem up 25-9. Going to get a couple plays off. Still in that set. Incomplete. So the clock stops at about 50 seconds on that incompletion. With also trying to get the ball into their athletic receiver's hands so they can make a play on their own. Still in the same formation. The trips left. We have a man in motion now. That's Carrington. Carrington gets the ball. Looking to get around that right corner. He does. And he's still on his feet. Picked up a nice gain of about 10.
Yeah, gains 10 yards. once again, it will momentarily stop for the refs to move the chains. And so now, of course, West Oso just trying to run their offense as best as possible and to try to get one last score in at least.
And Oso's going to play till that clock says 0. Garza drops back, looking for a man. Doesn't see anybody he likes. He does. He gets it off. He throws it up in the air. It's a jump ball. It's incomplete. Looks like we're going to an official timeout with 24 seconds left. We'll be back after this.
This game is brought to you in part by the Concession Stand in Santa Rosa, a locally owned business providing a terrific atmosphere before or after the games and supporting athletes of all ages. When you're in Santa Rosa, be sure to stop by the Concession Stand and choose from the wide assortment of goodies. An advertising partner with Rio Sports Live is the Concession Stand.
Welcome back to Bears Stadium. 24 seconds left in our game as West Oso is trying to finish on a positive note. And here is the completion. It's caught and tries to find some room to run on the outside. Stays in bounds and brought down. That was Carrington once again. Clock keeps ticking. They're going in a no huddle. 5 seconds left in the game, trying to get that ball off. They do. Garza drops back. He's going to look to pass. He's moving around. Rolling out to the right. Throws it up in the end zone. And it is picked off. And they decide to take it down. He's going to try to get something to go in here. With no time left. And that is going to seal the game for the Odem Owls. So a tale of two halves here in West Oso here tonight, Jacob. All West Oso in the first half of tonight's game. And after halftime, Coach Huerta goes in, fires up the boys, and makes the adjustments needed to be a whole different half for the Owls. Owls came out, found their rhythm. Dawson comes up big in the passing game. He throws 2 touchdowns tonight. Both of those touchdowns to Kyle Castañeda. And then with the minutes winding down, just to kill the clock, Xavier Drennan gets himself that touchdown there at the end of the game. On the West Oso side, we talked about that first half, and we talked about the energy that Eddie Garza came out to start the game at QB. He had the lone touchdown for the West Oso Bears. Jacob, what are your thoughts tonight?
Yeah, great performance, especially just like we said, tale of two halves. It was a great showing from West Oso in that first half, and especially that lone touchdown really proved to be different. And, of course, even the defense from West Oso with the early safety, too, with the intentional grounding. So it seemed like everything was going their way for sure. It's just absolutely – that's when you know one team was there to really fight for 4 halves, and one team, yes, they were trying their hardest, especially throughout the game, but just – got beat with a little bit of better play calling at the end of the game.
Good call, Jacob. We want to thank West Oso ISD for having us here tonight. They did a wonderful job hosting tonight's ball game. Great crowd on both sides as well. Thanking everybody here. This is Marco Munguia alongside with Jacob Young. Real World Sports Live. Catch us next week. We will be wherever the action's at. This is Rio Sports Live signing off.